Morning. Once again, we're looking at chapter 8 today. It's page 63. It seems like it's a very simple chapter. It snows in Macomb, which never ever happens. And because it snows, one of the neighbors keeps their stove fire lit throughout the night, which then catches fire and the house catches fire. So snow and fire, interesting dichotomy there. So it's snowing and Jem and Scout are stunned and they literally don't know what it is because they've never seen it. It never happens. And Atticus kind of laughs. It's like, guys, it's snow. It's not the end of the world. Calm down. So they try to build a snowman, and they build a snowman to look exactly like Mr. Avery, the neighbor. And Atticus tells them that looks too much like Mr. Avery. And so they go and take Miss Maudie's hat and gardening tools, and then they say it looks like a morphodite, which Scout and Jem don't understand, but critical readers know that really what an adult would say is that a snow person that looks like part man, part woman would be a hermaphrodite, a person who has male and female parts. The kids don't get this. So again, there's that sweetness, that innocence appearing there again. All right, middle of the night, the fire is burning, and Atticus comes into Scout's room and says, "Hey, baby, get up." And they go outside, and they're standing, and it's cold because it snowed, but the fire, and so you got to be aware and make sure none of the other houses catch fire, and if they do catch fire, you got to be ready to, be prepared for that. So everybody's out in the neighborhood, and the kids are standing there, and it's cold. And Atticus turns around and looks at his children, and he says, "I thought I told you and Jem to stay put." We did. We stayed. Then whose blanket is that? Blanket? Yes, ma'am. Blanket. It isn't ours. I looked down and found myself clutching a brown woolen blanket I was wearing around my shoulders, squaw fashion. Atticus, I don't know, sir. And then Jem babbled. Mr. Nathan was at the fire. I saw him. He was tugging at the mattress, Atticus. I swear. That's all right, son. Looks like all of Macomb is out tonight. Atticus, no, sir. Mr. Nathan put cement in that tree. Atticus, he did it to stop us from finding things. He's crazy. I reckon like they say, but Atticus, I swear to God, he ain't ever harmed us. He ain't ever hurt us. He could have cut my throat from ear to ear that night. He tried to mend my pants, but he didn't even hurt us. Atticus, whoa, Atticus says, whoa, son. Because Jem just like suddenly realizes these things, and he just pours forth all of his confessions and his guilt and his fear. So what we learned here is that while the kids were standing there looking at the fire, Boo Radley came out of the house and very gently put a blanket around their shoulders to warm them up. And so is this the Boo Radley who stalks through the neighborhood, eating wild animals and staring at people's windows and basically creating a mysterious havoc? Or is this a different Boo Radley? And maybe we misunderstood who Boo Radley is. And maybe if we start to look back through the story and think, well, who then mended the pants? Maybe it was Boo Radley. Who put the trinkets in the tree? Boo Radley. Who carved the dolls? Maybe Boo Radley. Who laughed when Scout fell out of the tire? Boo Radley. So, all of these things, now we have to completely reevaluate what we thought we understood about this character. Miss Maudie even says on page 73 that, tell you the truth, I'd like to have been with you. And I've had sense enough to turn around too, meaning she would have turned around and seen Boo Radley, which is interesting because she as an adult is also caught up in the mystery of who Boo Radley is. He has been gone so long that even the adult neighbors are like, we kind of like to see him. Like, what's he doing there all day? Which then takes us to the very end of page 74. Miss Maudie and Scout are talking, and Scout mentions, you mean the morphodite? And Miss Maudie stared down at me, her lips moving silently. Suddenly she put her hands to her head and whoop, whoop, because Miss Maudie understands the joke of Scout's innocence and completely misunderstanding what a hermaphrodite is and getting the word wrong. And so it's that kind of cute, sweet innocence, that adult perspective versus the child's perspective on things. So this is an important chapter as we kind of look at those different elements. So not a lot happens in it, but it's a good one. So, all right, enjoy.